All right, yeah, folks, we're here. We'll build out the labxd stack. So this is our XD app stack. So we'll start by mkcd. That's my alias. We're creating directories. So let's be XD app on our repo. So now we'll first set up the node version we want to work with. So for us, it'd be 16.17.0. And we'll just save it into our NVMRC file. So if we do cat dot, you'll see that's the version that's saved in there. So now we'll initialize our repo, git init, and
Like
so
your
you
Vim
can see.
setup, like the colors of your Vim.
Oh, thank you, thank you. Like the terminal, it's I'm using Sheldon custom setup with oh my ZSH. It's a combination of a couple of things. All right, so now we have our files. We have our basic. So let's create our gitignore file. Just do it gitignore. So let's add some very basic stuff for nodejs. So that include node modules. We'll ignore node modules and .next anywhere that might be. So now we can get out of there. If we see these are all the files, we'll just commit them. So I have GAA, so that git adds everything on my end. So git commit message. This is the alias from yours truly, oh my ZSH. I'll do chore initial commit. So we'll just do a git push and be like, oh no, we need to set up the remote. So let's go set up the remote. We'll do a new window. We'll go to GitHub. We'll create a new repo. We're D, XD app, keep it public. We won't add any of these, and we'll just create the repo. Copy this. We can paste it right here, and it'll push everything up. Lo, lo and behold, we have our repo up and running. All right, next one. We'll set up the monorepo now, and so I'll branch off. I'll set up our package and kind of go from there. Oh, I like it. Okay, clear. All right, so V. So V is my alias for Vim. It's I'm not running any of Vim, so I'll just open it here. As you can see, this is like the basic setup. We're in vmrc, gitignore, and our git file. So now we are in a terminal exception mode. We will enable corepack. So corepack lets you use any kind of node package manager. So specifically for us, we're interested in pnpm. So npm version 7, we'll activate that. Oh. So if we do pnpm enable, now if we do pnpm, as you can, now you can see pnpm is working. We have the latest version 7.12.2. Your version might vary, but somewhere in the 7 realm. Even 8 will probably not break anything. We'll initialize our project. We'll do pnpm init. So we have our basic setup. So let's go. Let's see what was generated for us. So now we have the version. Does it give us a Mario? We don't much of the version. We can delete that. We don't care about the index. We might do some things with the scripts, but the main thing here will change our the license. So we'll put MIT and we'll add in a contributor section. Adding my partner, is truly Jimmy and myself in here. So it's a small little tweak, nothing too crazy. All right, ready to rock and roll. So first and foremost, let's go set things up. We will now branch off. So we're right now in the main, so obviously we want to branch off into a new branch. We'll do something that aligns. So usually for features, so this is kind of like a setup. So we'll go with a chore, not with a feed. So we'll call it repo setup. Try to be as descriptive as possible. And now we'll set up our little thing. So first and foremost, let's set up eslint. We'll install the packages. So I have this little bit here already. We'll install our dependencies. So we have eslint, some prettier integration, and our own labxd configurations. We'll go ahead and install them. All right, so here we should also add TypeScript, as we have some TypeScript included with it. And also, last but not least, we'll also include prettier. That's for formatting. So eslint is linter code, prettier is to automatically format it. All right, so now we have all the dependencies mapped out. Let's go back to our code. So now we'll do eslint rc.js. This is to configure eslint. Our configuration will be very, very simple. Pretty much just you can copy paste it from our configurations later on. All right. Set up here. And it's a very simple ones. This is mostly opinions. You can go ahead and change this and things you like. And then last but not least, we'll set up lint-staged. So this stage is so when you stage your code as you're about to commit, it can run tasks. So basically, this lets you run tasks against only files you have changed. So that's what lint-staged does. So it's a super simple little package. We can just install it right here. And add the lint-staged. Oops, we needed a dash there. All right, lint-staged. We have it working. So lint-staged. So using lint-staged, you can run tasks only against the codes you have staged in Git. So Git has this flow where before you commit it, you stage it, where it's kind of like mentally you're like, hey, this is a collection of code that I want to commit, which is like store in the history. And so you can specifically just run commits against that. All right. And it's super simple. So we're running eslint against our TypeScript files here and prettier against all our other file types. So here you can pick and choose basically. Right. So we're going to install commitlint. And as it installs, Here are the basic configuration files for commitlint. It's super simple. So the file is .commitlint.rc.js. And it's another simple commitlint file. So as you can see, we're just pulling in the conventional commit configuration. So we're not adding anything new. So we just save it. So commitlint ensures that your commit messages are compliant to the standards set up by conventional commit. So conventional commit, for example, when I just wrote a commit, so this follows conventional commit. As you can see, the first thing is like chore. That's one of the keywords. Then you can namespace it, and then you include a message. So this is quite useful because you are able to then take that information, put it through a lot of different kind of tools, and this allows you to generate change logs. You can do version control. So, for example, if you have a breaking change, it will automatically bump up the version number if you're using Samvar. Samvar is a versioning style. So this is a pattern that you can use that tooling can understand, and also it makes it easier for your colleagues to understand what you did because everyone's commit message is similar. All right. So now, we shall move on to the last part of our repo configuration, and that is installing Husky. We shall install Husky first. Let's do that. npm at the Husky. So what Husky is basically, it lets you run tasks as a GitHub. It kind of takes out the complexities of writing your own shell scripts, which you can, obviously, because GitHub is available for you to use. But basically what Husky does, it kind of hides a lot of that complexity and makes it super easy to use. So to configure Husky, all we have to do is just run pnpm execute husky install, and it will create a .husky folder. And so that's where all the magic happens. So a couple of things we'll do. We'll go back to our package.json. We'll add some things. So here we'll add some scripts. Not message. All right, so let's add our Husky task. So this is where we're adding the pre-commit message Husky task. All right, let's see if it got created, and it did. All right, awesome sauce. Let's add our second one, pnpm execute husky at .husky. All right, so this is where we're just adding our pre-commit. Let's see if it got created. .husky, and it did. All right,
Let's
so
go. Let's go.
we need to husky execute. Is that? Oh, there we go. We need to run husky install. After you add a husky task, then we need to run husky install. All right. So now we have it. We saw our husky working. As you can see, this is where husky is running code linting. It's like checking commit lint. It's saying it ran lint-staged, so everything's working. Now let's set up our workspace. So this is where we're using pnpm. So we'll use pnpm workspaces. So pnpm workspace files are usually pnpm-workspace.yml. So these are usually YAML files. Now let's go to here. So it's a YAML, not YML. They're basically the same. And now we'll just set up our packages. So we expect the package to be packages. And so the first one will be, we'll put all our apps inside apps folder, and we shall put all our packages in our packages folder. All right, let's run our pnpm, and it'll say there's nothing to really install. It say like, hey, nothing has really changed. So this is just basic configuration. So let's make our folders, apps, and let's make our packages folder. Now let's add some .keep. So because Git does not allow you to commit empty packages, empty folders. So this is where Git has this approach of using a .keep file. So we add a .keep file to our empty apps and packages for now. All right, let's see what's going on. So we have apps folder, a packages folder, and our workspace. All right, we're ready to rock and roll. Let's commit this. So we'll make it a chore, and we'll say npm workspace config. All right, as you can see, all our main configurations are working. We're all ready to rock and roll. Let's push this up. And usually when you first push, you will say like, hey, you can't push this up. You can configure it so you can make it automatic. I like to keep it manual, so in case I don't want to push something up, I'll always be blocked. All right, and now it's up and running in our Git repo. So as you can see, we have it open. So let's make a pull request. Say chore code quality tooling config. We made a pull request. All right, here we are, rock and roll. We have chain set up in our organization, something different, no need to worry. This won't show up for you, but other than that, rock and roll. We have the basic setup of our project. If we take a look, you see the commitlint, the eslint configurations, lint-staged, and prettier. These are the main code quality tooling configuration. NVMRC is to set up our node version, and package.json is for obviously our nodejs project. And pnpm lock file is for pnpm. And pnpm workspace sets up the pnpm workspace setup where we'll be setting up our apps and packages. These are all the configuration. This is a one-time setup cost. Once you set that up, you're ready to rock and roll.